Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Geelong versus Richmond game, in which Geelong almost lost the honestly unlosable game. It was that poor by them. It basically took until the last quarter where Richmond had like 2 on the bench for them to actually win the game. As they lost Pickett, Pickett might have been injured. They also lost Lafau to an ACL, so they've lost I think another 2 injuries this week. And I don't know if they're getting anyone back. Geelong just overran them in the end because of weight of numbers. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this recap. So, Bowes 130, he was really decent in the last 2 quarters, 50 in the third, 44 in the last. And I think he was I don't remember what was going on as he kicked a goal here, because I don't think I watched this game terribly much. But he took a lot of marks. I don't know where his positioning was, to be honest with you. I will need to sort of see a heat map of that to figure out where he was, because this was a couple of days ago now, and I've kind of forgotten. But let me just check here, Bose. Where was his heat map? It was actually in the offensive half. That's a surprise. I don't know, did he have any CBAs or anything? Because I'm trying to figure out what caused that. 20 CBAs out of a possible, 15, 25, 29. So he had around about that 70% CBA range, just short of that. So yeah, he had quite a few CBAs. That's probably the reason why he scored so well. Mitch Duncan 118 finally actually scores, but he'll have a bad game next week, so I wouldn't bother with that. Atkins is averaging 69 for a reason, or 111. He was just pretty consistent, and Dangerfield's back in the next little bit, so I wouldn't be touching that. Ollie Dempsey's had like 450 scores in a row, so I wouldn't be touching this as well. Considering he scored a 104 after a 6-point first quarter, sort of just shows that he needed the goals. I think he kicked 3 goals in the end, 2 in the second quarter, to get him to a 104, and not really relevant, I don't think. Holmes, a 101, he was really good as well, especially in the last quarter where he just got, I think, a little bit of a kick-to-kick. Bruin, 26, 24, 24, 26, even 100 for him, so he was pretty good. Jesse Cameron, 76, he did all right, but, I mean, it took, only a 1-goal effort from him. A 1-goal effort to get to a 76 ain't bad, but he did take quite a few marks on the wing, I think, from memory. 1, 2, 3, 4, that was probably a mark for the goal anyway, so 4 marks for him in general, as well as 1, 2, how many tackles did he lay? 3 tackles, I believe, or 4 tackles, 1, 2, 3, 4 tackles as well, so he laid quite a few tackles. So he was pretty good on the day, but still, as a sort of key forward, he isn't going to really impact the game in terms of fantasy scoring too much. Stuart Guthrie, close. Conway, 70, so he didn't really impact the game too much. I think he ended up with about an 80 Supercoach-wise as well. Mullen, 67, so that was a decent score from him for once, but then again, he doesn't score regularly. Stengel, 65, Colin Jasney, Hawkins, Neal, Henry, O'Connor, Myers with a really low 52 as well. I think it was like 35 in Supercoach, so he didn't score well. DeConing, Tui, Rowan, Henry. Nankervis 141, he was absolutely huge throughout the day. I think he ended up with 51 hitouts, but still 90 points outside of that is a really good day for a ruckman. And I don't know how many sort of disposals he had, but yeah, he was just up there. 17 touches, 7 marks, 6 tackles. So yeah, he just did the non-disposal work. What's that? 21, 24. So what's that? 96 points in non-disposal acts without the free kicks for and against. I don't know what the free kick count for him was. Let me just check that. 2 frees, 4, 1 against. So 95 points non-disposal wise for him is always going to help him out. Baker 112, so he actually scored for once, but it seems like he's like 2 weeks off, 1 week on type scorer. Bolter 83, Graham Campbell with a 74 just out of nowhere, so it seemed like the small forwards were the one that scored in this game. Short 72, he's just been so inconsistent, and it's almost like, do you even bother with him next year just because he's going to be like 70 odd average? Is that going to be so much value, or is it just going to be a trap next year? Martin Rioli, McIntosh, Ryan, Ralph Smith, McCullough for 56, but didn't do anything in the second half, if it loads here. Yeah, 5 point second half and nothing in the last quarter, so yeah, he really did nothing. Dow, Brown, Pickett, Mansell, Lafau got injured as well, which means that there is a chance that Blight comes in as a fullback and they move Bolter down into the forward line. Sonsey, Broad, Miller, Veloston, Cumberland and Smith, who came on for a debut, but 10 points not really relevant. So just trying to... There wasn't really anything relevant about these two sides, just because of injuries and stuff like that. But just recapping, because it's only about 5 minutes into this video. Nankervis, I don't think he's going to be top of the line, so I don't think he is relevant. Baker, I don't think he's going to score enough, to be honest, but I need to look at that again, just because he is close to an 84 to being relevant enough in the forward line, just given that we have nothing in the forward line. So yeah, there's that. Bolter, as I said, probably going to move into the forward line, so not relevant. Graham, 82, but I think the other guys are coming back, so I don't think he is worth a risk there. Jaden Short isn't scoring enough. Dusty is Dusty, and he's like 30 something, so I wouldn't be touching that either. Dan Rioli, much to the similar thought line with Jaden Short, I wouldn't be touching that just because he is so inconsistent, and he's about 20 off the pace in terms of the defenders. McIntosh, 67, he is a forward, I believe. No, just a straight mid, no thank you, at 357k. Samson Ryan as well, I just think that he could be relevant if Toby Nankervis went down with an injury, given that he's got ruck forward status, but then again, I think he'd just get dominated in the ruck because he's more of that sort of around the grounds ruckman, it feels like, and so at 361k, I don't think you bother at all anyway if Nankervis goes down. Ralph Smith, he sort of played every game and sort of just averages the 60 odds. McAuliffe, he had a really quiet second half as we went through, and so I think the time is almost gone for him, given he's 292k now, so you could pick him up, but I don't know if he's going to necessarily take the bull by the horns in games to come. I feel like he's just going to be that guy that sort of averages 65, 70 or thereabouts, and or even 56 I feel like that was a little bit under par for him, but I think he scored 60 in the last week. So yeah, I think McAuliffe is one that's going to score 60s and maybe low 70 scores, and that's not really going to impact your teams too much. So I don't know whether you actually grab him up, but I would probably stay clear of him. Dow as well. What's he priced at? 486k, just sort of middling score. Brown, Pickett, Lafau we said was injured. Sonsey, so Blight could come in. They may have another guy come in. I mean, they don't have like anyone left. But then, and Geelong quickly here, just touching over them. Bowles, I don't think you touch at all, given that he's probably going to have a sub game in there in the next couple of weeks anyway. Duncan's too old and has some poor games. We saw that last week with like a 40 or something a couple of weeks ago at least. Dempsey is so up and down that he's had 50 games, as I said. Jeremy Cameron, we talked through that. We basically talked through his whole forward line. I'll be also staying clear of Graham Myers, just because you can probably grab him post-buy for like 700k anyway. And also the fact that he's having these type of games where he just doesn't impact. So yeah, that basically is the video there, going through all of the Geelong versus Richmond game. And I guess I will see you guys in the next recaps tomorrow, which will be the end of round 12 with the final game that happened on the Saturday night, as well as the other two games or whatever, or whether we're up to I think we're up to the Sunday games, the two Sunday games. So yeah, I'll see you guys in those videos anyway. So yeah, bye guys.